Good morning, KOTA territory. I'm Jack Siebold. I'm joined today by Cody Dennis. Cody had a very important story yesterday. It's kind of, I don't know, they call it it's a strategic summit in a sense, building a better rapid city. It's not one of those things where a lot of people realize how much of an impact it has for them, especially if they can't afford a place to live. So what did you get out of that yesterday?
Well, I mean, if you didn't know about this, the Black Hills Community Foundation does a thing that they call the Strategic Housing Fund. And that's sort of just a low interest loan that these developers can get to incentivize them to build some of these different housing projects.
Yeah, when you talk about incentives, you kind of have to do that. It's these are the carrots that developers need to actually get into the business of building affordable homes. But affordable homes themselves, that's a phrase we throw out all the time, and we should actually try to avoid that. Correct?
Yeah, well, the thing about the term affordability in general is that it's subjective. It can mean something different to anyone who, who says it. But generally, and we'll hear Liz say this in a second, we go by the metric of 30% of your income. If your rent or your mortgage is around that level, then you're living affordably in the house that you have. And there's probably a better way we could say that, but that's just the way that we kind of go with it, so that we know what we're talking about.
Now, I remember when I was a young person, and I lived paycheck to paycheck because almost everybody's starting out. You do that. It was 25%. Now it's 30%. I worry that one of these days we might start telling people, you should pay 50%. And that would be too much.
Absolutely, and I think actually that she even agrees with with that as well. She's saying if you're spending more than that 30%, it's not affordable at that point. And I think that's sort of what prompted a lot of this is they've realized that a lot of people in the Black Hills area are paying more than that 30% number, and so hopefully some of these projects can help to reduce that a little bit.
Yeah. And I know it's not actually tied to Rapid City and Pennington County's homeless resolution where they want to do something about the homeless problem. But if young people cannot afford homes, and we could end up with a class of working families who are part of the homeless issue. And so let's listen to Liz Hamburg. She's the CEO of the Black Hills Area Community Foundation.
I think it's just Community Foundation, but yeah.
Community Foundation? Oh, okay, I said area. All right, let's see what Liz has to say.
You were speaking about loans and different things that are going to be available. Could you just describe that for me, just so I can understand a little bit better?
Oh, sure. Well, the Strategic Housing Trust Fund is primarily a tool that we use to create a small layer of capital in a stack where a developer is going to create affordable housing. We look at the depth of affordability and the number of units of affordability in order to calculate what kind of a loan we might be able to make for that project. We'd raised about $15 million total. We have about $11 million committed. We'd love to hit the $20 million mark and keep those dollars revolving. And this will be a perpetual resource for housing in the Black Hills. In addition to Rapid City, we're working to develop similar housing trust funds for the communities out in the rest of our territory in the Black Hills.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a guideline that you go with what we consider affordable housing? Is there any metric that is determined by?
Yeah, 30% of your income. 30% of your income. If you're spending 30% or less, then you're in affordable housing. If you're spending half your income, you're not in affordable housing. We're going to be, again, talking about what's happening in other communities outside of Rapid City in the Black Hills. We work between Butte County down to Ogallala, Lakota, and so there are conversations going in those communities as well as how to address affordable housing and what needs they have. And that there are a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders coming together to have these conversations and look at all the different facets of the issue. It might be something that can be done with policy or zoning, or it could be just raising money. But there are a lot of different components that can come together in order to help make the situation better for the residents of Black Hills. The 30% has kind of been a historic marker. 30%, that would be rent and utilities. Elevate Rapid City, and they calculate the average median income for us. And that varies. That has gone up. It used to be 55, now it's closer to 58,000. And that's the median, not the average, the median.
Okay, that was Liz Hamburg talking about the housing summit. Now, she mentioned something about some of the things besides pouring money into developers, zoning issues, and you've covered a related issue to this quite extensively, and that is the people who own older mobile homes.
Right.
They are in mobile home parks. You want to improve the parks, but at the same time, when you start doing that, the new zoning rules kick in, and some of these people with these old mobile homes are out of luck. Did anybody at the summit have any idea of how they could actually tackle that issue? I know the city council touched on it Monday night.
Unfortunately, they didn't really talk too much about mobile homes at this summit. They sort of were keeping it more on what projects they can do in the future. But that is definitely an issue that would fall under the affordable housing category. And, it is a huge issue in Rapid City because a lot of them, by ordinance, like you said, can't be moved out of the parks that they're in. And so if they do have to leave that mobile home, a lot of the times those people end up losing their house.
Okay, and that's probably a follow-up story we'll pursue sometime in the near future. All right, thanks, Cody. I appreciate you joining us. That's it for now. Everyone have a great day. We'll be back again with another Beyond the Soundbite when we have an issue that is beyond the soundbite. Thanks.